and ask questions, but we will not be able to see you. We will begin shortly. Well, again, good afternoon and welcome to our virtual parent and family session. My name is Elizabeth Massengale, and I will serve as the moderator for today's session. We are so excited to have all of you joining us today. As a reminder, we are conducting this session as a webinar. You should be able to hear and see us, but we can't hear or see you. You do have the ability to ask questions using that Q&A feature. The Q&A feature is located at the bottom of your screen. We will respond to those questions throughout the session today. If we are unable to respond to your question during the webinar, we will share your question with the appropriate area for a response. At the conclusion of the presentation, you will be provided with our contact information as well as frequently asked questions. And you will also receive this information via email as well. At this time, I'd like to ask Eddie to share some information with the group.
Buenos días, gracias por estar con nosotros en esta sesión para padres y familias virtual. Esta sesión se transmite como un webinar. Eso significa que ustedes los podrán ver y oírnos, pero nosotros no los podemos ver y oírlos. Ustedes sí tienen acceso a preguntarnos preguntas usando el botón de Q&A. Ahí tendremos personas que pueden responder a sus preguntas en español. Adicionalmente, este programa va a ser grabado y tendrá las capciones en español agregadas para que puedan ver esta presentación con las capciones de español después. Últimamente, nosotros vamos a mandar un email después de la presentación con los detalles para cómo accesar ese material. Gracias otra vez por estar con nosotros y con eso se lo paso para atrás a mi colega.
Thank you, Eddie. During today's webinar, you will hear from several representatives from different areas on campus who are here to help make the transition of becoming a family member of a new Red Raider. We will provide you with general advice about how you can best support your student and how you can be best involved in this transition. We understand that you and your student have many questions related to fall 2021. We know things on campus will look different than they did this year. The university is committed to providing a safe and supportive environment to all students. We do expect to see an increase in in-person classes and a return to normal capacity in classrooms and laboratories. We are committed to working through any ADA procedures with students, faculty, and staff who do need accommodations for health reasons. The university will continue to follow the advice of the CDC and local public health experts with respect to the use of our mask in classrooms and hygienic practices. If circumstances change and we need to decrease that capacity, we will pivot to a hybrid or online modalities as appropriate. The university is constantly monitoring and evaluating the current environment, and we're fully committed to ensuring and providing you and your students timely and accurate information on your answers, on answers to many of your questions. You can help. Once your student has set up their Texas Tech email, make sure your student checks that email on a regular basis. Families should join the parent and family newsletter. Official communication will be shared in a variety of mediums, but all official communication will be sent to the student's Texas Tech email, and the Department of Parent and Family Relations will share the official information with families via our e-news as well as social media. At the end of this presentation, you will have our contact information, and you are welcome to reach out to us at any time. Today's panelists are including Dr. Carol Sumner, Vice President of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion and Chief Diversity Officer, Dr. Kathy Duran, Vice Provost for Student Affairs, Dr. Todd Chambers, Associate Dean for Media and Communication, and Hunter Heck, Student Government Association. We're also excited to have our Texas Tech Parent Association joining us as well. I'd like to begin our presentation by sharing some insight on how you as a family member of a future Red Raider should be involved and connected. Your involvement and connections will look different than they do today, and we're here to help you. The University Department of Parent and Family Relations is your office on campus. We focus on providing timely and accurate information to help families stay connected to their students and the university. We do this by providing information sessions during orientation, providing a parent and family guide that includes information on various programs and services for your student, offering a free monthly newsletter, and providing opportunities such as Sibling Saturday, Family Days, and Family Weekend for families to visit their student on campus. We encourage you to connect with our office by signing up for our newsletter and following us on social media. At any time, you're welcome to call or email us and let us help answer your university question or provide you with information on how your student can reach out to an area for support. There are many questions you have now and that will continue to arise during your student's time as a Red Raider. Know that we're here to help you navigate those questions and concerns and provide you and your student support. As your student begins the fall semester, family members should encourage their student to check their Texas Tech email regularly, follow university social media sites, and be involved. There's a variety of opportunities to get your student involved, both in person as well as virtually, throughout the next few months prior to them being here on campus. We value family involvement, and we want you involved. We know it may look different, but your students still need you, just in a different way. At this time, I'd like to introduce Dr. Carol Sumner, our Chief Diversity Officer and Vice President for Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion. Dr. Sumner?
Thank you, ma'am. Greetings to you all. I am so excited. This is like for us the beginning of the best part of the season, because it is the time we greet new families and students, and simultaneously we start celebrating the transition of students who have been here, those that might be graduating, those that will be returning for another year of study, but all the same reasons to celebrate. And so we're grateful that you've taken this time today to join us to think about your student as a Red Raider and how you might be able to be of support. So the Division of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion provides some resources and services and support to students, both those that are a part of our direct programs and more broadly as we work across the institution. And so in the division, we have several programs that are focused on first year success, first generation student success, students who are based on first gen or income based, or students with disabilities, those students that are looking to go to grad school. We also have our military and veterans program. And so you might see one of our staff members on chatting. If you have a question about that, that's what they're there for. We're here to be a support and a resource. We also have a number of mentoring programs and services where students can get involved, and we look for ways to students to be able to explore all of who they are, not just those students based on where they come from or a certain race or a gender, but all of who they are. Because we recognize that students come to the university to both earn a degree and become adults. in their formative years and in these experiences, we hope to allow them to explore new ways of thinking and see new perspectives on life, and to be able to consider themselves as global citizens through the course of being here at Texas Tech and at Lubbock. We certainly all have our different experiences, and I laughed as Elizabeth was saying, you know, they're all going to need us in different ways. I have three adult children, and my youngest is actually finishing his last year in his graduate program. He still calls his father about questions for housing, but this is what I do. So we want you to know that we are all too familiar with some of the questions you might have. No question is something you should not feel like you can ask. And we're grateful that you've taken the time to join us, because it is about the students finding connection. We know that home is a place and family is a place where they will feel safe and secure. We want them to make those connections. So as my colleagues and I are meeting with you today and having this conversation, we want you to know we are family. We do see your sons and daughters, your young people as members of our community already. And no matter where they come from, what they look like, what they bring, they're a part of us. And so we celebrate that. What we need to know is, how do they see themselves as family, and want them to begin that path here. So I look forward to engaging with you all in this conversation. We're super excited, and this is only my second cup of coffee. So we're on to great things. I look forward to having this conversation. Elizabeth, I turn it back to you.
Thank you, Dr. Sumner. Dr. Kathy Duran is our Vice Provost for Student Affairs. Dr. Duran.
Hi, everyone. I am very excited to be here as well. We're really looking forward to this summer and this fall. I want to add my thanks for everybody who's joining us today. We really want you to know, from the student affairs standpoint, we want to talk to you about student services, student involvement, and a little bit about orientation at Texas Tech. So I know that I'm going to cover some general things about orientation this summer. We do have a lot of people that are answering specific questions on orientation in the Q&A portion. And so if you have those kind of specific questions that I don't, if I'm not able to answer them while I'm talking about this now, please go ahead and submit those questions and we'll get them all answered for you. So for all of the university, we have so many different resources, departments, and areas, and we want you to know that we're totally dedicated to your student success. We're also really looking forward to being back on campus this fall, which we do expect to have 100% capacity in our classrooms, as Dr. Massengale was saying. We would like families to know of the opportunities and the support services that are available to students as Red Raiders, and then you can help encourage them to explore those and to take advantage of what's offered. So first of all, what does Student Affairs at Texas Tech do? We strive to enrich students' lives through active learning experiences and all kinds of innovative opportunities. We both challenge and support your student throughout their growth and development as a Texas Tech student and also as an adult. And within Student Affairs, we have a variety of departments that will empower your student to become the best version of themselves and to be a positive influence in the world. You have received a link, and I think you'll receive it again in the chat or the Q&A, where you can see a list of resources and a description of all the different Student Affairs departments. So once on campus, we do want your student to become engaged and involved. We want them to be leaders both inside and outside of the classroom, both on campus and off campus, as whatever opportunities they seem to be most interested in. So here's a few ways that they can get involved. Students can join one or more of over 550 different student organizations on campus. That's a lot to choose from, but we know even new ones can be made. So there's a lot of opportunity there. Your student can represent the student voice through the Student Government Association. We have our student body president, Hunter Heck, on this call today, and you'll hear from her. They can work on campus, which is not just work, but is a kind of a mentoring opportunity for the people that they work with. They can also participate in academic research and creative endeavors, even as an undergraduate student. So what we'd like you to do is challenge your student to become involved. It will really help with their transition as a first-year student in a new environment, in a new town with new people. It really helps to be connected, especially after this last year. So we also recognize that students may need assistance or guidance along the way. This can sometimes be a difficult transition. You should try to encourage your students to reach out for help and support throughout their entire college experience. We'll get them connected to resources that we assign to them personally that will support them emotionally, physically, and academically. You'll also want to encourage your student to seek out various opportunities, both those that are within their comfort zone and sometimes those that are outside their comfort zone to try something new. For example, if your student has enjoyed service and philanthropy activities in high school, they could seek out a student organization that focuses on community service. We have a lot of those. But at the same time, to try something new, if your student has never run for some kind of elected type position, they might be interested in considering leadership opportunities in a student organization or student government association, which has a lot of opportunities for first-year students as well. We also recognize that sometimes students might test boundaries with activities that may be less than ideal or not in line with university expectations. This is also part of student affairs. So before and after those behaviors arrive, we will educate your student on the reduction of high-risk behaviors and how to help others through bystander intervention. This is very important. We will also hold them accountable through the Student Code of Conduct. And at the same time, we recognize that as students begin the pursuit of their college degree, they may not always know what career or academic major is the right fit for them. So we at Texas Tech have many resources to prepare your student to not only find a job, but also can assist your student with exploring various career options and majors that best fit your student's strengths and interests. On another note, we know you're curious about how you can access your students' academic, financial, and conduct information, which is different than what it was like in high school or K through 12. So here's what you need to know. The students' academic, financial, and conduct records are protected by FERPA. FERPA is the Federal Education Rights and Privacy Act that protects a student's records and prevents institutions of higher education, such as Texas Tech, from sharing information with anything except the student, unless they have completed a FERPA waiver indicating they are willing to release that information to those people listed on the form. So you should talk with your student about expectations related to the release of that information. If you and your student agree that it's in everyone's best interest to complete the waiver, you can do that via a mail-in form or via your student's Rater link. We will be providing you links to both options, and more information will be provided during the summer during Red Rater orientation. You do not need to do anything now. Speaking of Red Rater orientation, I do want to let you know that this summer, Texas Tech will offer a hybrid orientation experience. There will be some mandatory online modules and virtual advising and registration, as well as in-person opportunities through what we're calling the Raterland experience. These are the kinds of questions that you can ask today, and also you can be looking these up on some of our websites. There are 2 different registration processes. You've probably already, or you may have already registered for the online part. The Raterland experience in-person part, those registrations will open on April 1st. And so it's important to note that you do have to opt in to do the Raterland experience, but we are offering them throughout the summer, and there will be a lot of opportunity for everyone to participate in this as well. So we know that guidelines are continuing to change as far as the COVID situation, but we are confident that this hybrid format will offer a high quality experience with comprehensive information, excellent advising, and making sure that your student is ready to begin their journey as a Red Raider this fall. In addition, besides the Raiderland experience opportunity, we'll have a lot of other opportunities for your student to get involved during Raider Welcome before classes begin. So I also wanted to point out a few things to think about to let you know how you can help as a parent. So as your students begin the fall semester, parents and family members should encourage their students to check their Texas Tech email regularly, to follow all the various TTU social media sites, and once they're on campus, to really encourage the participation in Raider Welcome. I think we would like students to get involved in at least one student organization from the very beginning. And they should start to identify resources and reach out to those areas early, even if they just have the slightest inkling that they may need them, such as tutoring, student counseling center, student health services, student disability services, employment opportunities, and other things like that. So moving along, there's just a few fun facts about student affairs in the typical year that I wanted to share with you. In a typical year, we have over 180,000 student interactions. We have over 1,000 events and meetings. Did you know that students can have documents notarized at our student legal services? They usually do about 1,800 to 2,000 of those a year. In a typical year, the Career Center completed over 9,700 career assessments. That's a lot of helping people figure out what they want to do next. And we distributed over 18,000 t-shirts to students during Red Raider orientation. So we do a lot of different events and activities to keep things interesting and to improve and enhance the student experience here at Texas Tech. We want you to know that as a parent or family member of an incoming student, you should be generally aware of resources and service also, so that you can help your student. And at the same time, you should feel free to contact us and ask us for advice at any time. And please don't forget to encourage and challenge your students to try new things. The transition to college is very exciting. It's an important milestone for families and students. Texas Tech has excellent, and I mean, I have to, I'm bragging, but I really do think we have good, very good, excellent services and resources and many opportunities for your student. And we want you to be involved and provide support to your student by having this information. And so I would like to conclude by saying that even though we're doing some things differently, thank goodness differently from last summer, but still differently from the summer before that, we are 100% committed to you and your student. And thank you so much for your attention and for your support of Texas Tech. And Elizabeth, I'll turn it back over to you.
Thank you, Dr. Duran. We know that your students are here primarily to get an education, and you have many questions about that academic experience here at Texas Tech. And we're excited to have Dr. Todd Chambers, an associate dean over in our College of Media and Communication, joining us this afternoon. Dr. Chambers.
Thank you so much. Guns up, everybody. Oh, it's so good to see y'all. Thank you so much for joining us. Man, I know it's a commitment to do this at noon in the middle of the week, and we cannot be more thrilled that you've decided to join us today. We feel like that, and I get paid for saying this, but I really believe this. Texas Tech offers the best experience in higher education in the state of Texas. And we are so excited that, many of you will be here on campus beginning in fall of 2021. As Elizabeth said, my name is Todd Chambers, and I serve as an Associate Dean for Undergraduate Affairs in the College of Media and Communication. But the reality is I teach. I love interacting with our students. In fact, this semester I'm teaching 3 classes. I'm teaching 2 face-to-face and 1 online. And I can promise you, just like every other faculty member, we are devoted to seeing your student succeed academically. Here at Texas Tech, you know, I mean, believe it or not, I was a college student at one time. And I remember, actually, I did my undergrad here at Texas Tech of all places, and I'm so thankful I did. But, you know, thinking about it, it's like, wow, I don't know what I should major in. And what I tell students all the time, especially during Red Raider orientation, if you haven't, in your first year, if you haven't thought about changing your major, we haven't done our job as instructors, as faculty members, to challenge, to open your eyes to a whole new world. And that's what we do here at Texas Tech. We provide opportunities. We have 10 different academic colleges here at Texas Tech. We've got a College of Agriculture and Natural Resources, a College of Architecture, a College of Arts and Sciences. We've got the Jerry S. Rawls College of Business Administration. We've got a College of Education. We've got the Whitaker College of Engineering. We've got an honors college, and I really, really hope that many of you will investigate the honors college here at Texas Tech. We've got a College of Human Sciences, my college, which is the College of Media and Communication. And then, of course, we've got the JT and Margaret Talkington College of Visual and Performing Arts. So we've got 150 majors in those colleges. So we've got something for you. And trust me on this, we're all dedicated across this campus. Each department does academic advising. Now, some departments, many of our departments will have like a team of advisors that your student will interact with from Red Raider orientation, and then they'll get the high five at graduation. And but some units also do faculty advising, and so that in some of the colleges, that's what you'll find. You know, and you know, last year we had to pivot pretty quickly, and we went to a virtual Red Raider orientation last year, and you know, we were all kind of, oh, what are we going to do with this? And of course, I know students just like you were concerned with, oh, virtual, what does that look like? Well, I'm excited that Tech's going to do this hybrid thing, this Raiderland experience. Trust me, you want to jump on board with that, okay? And for the Red Raider orientation, what it's all about is getting you involved and getting you registered for classes in the fall of 2021. What we learned last year on our side, and I heard this over and over again throughout campus, is that students left here very satisfied with that virtual advising experience in Red Raider orientation. And what they found, what our advisors said, we got to spend more time with students on a one-on-one basis. So that was, you talk about an unexpected positive surprise. We were very excited about that. And no matter the format, it doesn't matter if it's face-to-face or virtual, we're going to provide excellence in advising to your student. You know, and speaking of our faculty, my goodness, you know, I was thinking just a year ago, I think March 12th is when we found out that we were going to go online for the rest of the spring 2021 or 2020 semester. And I was like, wow, but we did it. Our students were successful. Our faculty were successful. We got it done. That's who we are as Red Raiders. And we are constantly looking, we're challenging ourselves as faculty members to figure out what's going to be the most innovative way to continue to deliver excellence in education. Because again, we feel we're the best in the state of Texas, and we're gonna strive for honor every single time, and to make sure that we are. We are definitely thinking about your experience here at Texas Tech, fall of 2021, and as you continue on your education here. You know, we're really looking forward to the fall 2021 semester and being back to normal, but we realize that nothing's going to be normal again, and we're okay with that. We know how to adapt. We know we're Red Raiders. We've got grit, we got perseverance, we got determination. But I'm telling you, we're very excited about your experience back to normal as much as possible safely here at Texas Tech. But we are thinking about your college experience. We realize I've got a daughter that's a senior in high school. Her senior year is gone. I remember I was looking so forward to senioritis, catching senioritis my high school senior year and thinking about that. But my daughter, I mean, no prom, no, face-to-face graduation is going to be different. I get that, and we get that, and we're thinking about that. Dr. Duran talked about the different resources at Student Affairs. We've got professional staff members that are looking out for your student. Dr. Sumner talked about, from the Office of Diversity and Inclusion. We're thinking about all these issues and how, from a veteran, coming into this type of environment, we've got our minds focused on that. We're trying to be as innovative as possible. We are here for your student success. We're here for your student wellness and well-being. We know you're looking for an experience. We've got it right here at Texas Tech. We're ready for you. Cannot wait to see you come this summer and then in fall of 2021. Thank you very much for your time today.
Thank you, Dr. Chambers. I'd like to introduce Hunter Heck, who serves as our Student Government Association President, to share her thoughts as a current student here at Texas Tech. Hunter?
Hello, everyone. I am just so excited to be here today and thankful for all of you for joining us today, taking some time to hear about the amazing resources we have here at Texas Tech. My name is Hunter. Like I said, I'm from Panhandle, Texas, which is a really small town right outside of Amarillo. I'm a senior here at Texas Tech studying philosophy and Spanish, and I currently serve as the student body president. Today, I'm going to give a little bit of information about student government and what we do, and hopefully give a little bit of a plug to encourage your students to get involved with student government next year. And then I'm going to discuss a little bit of what my experience has been, and then finally provide some words of encouragement, maybe some words of advice from a student to a parent. So I'm a senior, like I said. I'm preparing to graduate this May, and I am in disbelief that it has been 4 years since I was the student that moved in and with tears said goodbye to my parents, unsure of what the next 4 years of my life would look like. But looking back, I can genuinely say that my experience at Texas Tech has been the most meaningful and transformative of my life thus far. And I am so grateful for my time here. What I could have expected the 4 years to look like, any expectation that I have just been blown out of the water because of how incredible this university is. So Texas Tech Student Government Association, just briefly, we exist to represent the interests of the students by developing meaningful personal relationships with the students in order to understand their needs. And our goal is to maximize each student's educational and personal growth. So we have various branches, but we serve as the liaison between the student body and Texas Tech administration and local, state, and federal governments. So we exist for your students and to ensure that their growth is maximized. So whenever I think about Texas Tech, if you were to ask me what is the first word that comes to your mind, I will immediately answer family. I know that thinking about dropping off your student at a campus where maybe they don't know anyone, maybe they have a couple of connections, but this can be an intimidating new endeavor to embark on. I mean, for me, my graduating class in high school was 50 students. And so I went from a class of 50 students to a student body of 40,000. And I was unsure of what this would look like. But I can say that this has been, that the faculty and staff and administration here care about your students. I mean, if you look at the strategic plan of the university, the first pillar is to educate and empower a diverse student body. This campus is student-centered, and that is clear in the way that our faculty engage our students in the classroom, the way that our administration goes about making decisions, and how that's going to impact our students, not only on campus, but once they enter this diverse and global society. And so I just want to encourage you that your student is going to be challenged and supported in ways that you may not even be able to anticipate, and that they're going to find a family away from home. For me specifically, I know the mentor for me that feels like my mom away from home is Dr. Wong, who's the interim dean of the Honors College. I think I have gone to her office in tears before. She's one of the first people I text whenever I have really exciting news. And so I just want to say that this is a family here, and your student is so welcome and is going to experience that as soon as they dive in. Second, and this was mentioned earlier, and I can speak from this from a personal view, to be prepared for a conversation with your student, that there's a chance that they may get here and realize that their passions and strengths aren't what they thought they were. And there may be a conversation about switching majors. Whenever I got to Texas Tech, I was a double major in chemistry and Spanish, and I wanted to be a dermatologist that was going to travel the world and do medical missions. And I got here my first year. I enjoyed and did well in my chemistry classes, but for some reason, this public speaking course that was an 8 a.m., I was thrilled to hear that alarm in the morning and attend that class. And I realized that my interests and skills were actually more suited towards the humanities, understanding and studying rhetoric and the law. So now I'm a philosophy major about to go to law school. My brother was the same way. He's a first-year student here at Texas Tech. And last semester, he was a kinesiology major. This semester, personal financial planning. So my encouragement to you all is, one, that conversation may come up. And parents are going to be an integral part of that decision. I know that my parents were. Frankly, my dad told me that if I switched to philosophy, he was a little scared I was going to be unemployed. But that's a conversation and an opportunity for you to support your students and to be involved in that decision. But just a word of advice is to be prepared for that conversation and to hear about how your students' interests are developing and changing, because they're going to be challenged here at Texas Tech. And as a result, they may realize that they want to go a different direction with their career. And Texas Tech is prepared to develop them in whatever endeavor they choose to pursue. My third point of encouragement and advice is to remain a part of your student's life, but do not overwhelm them. I know that this is tempting to want to hear about from every single day, exactly every single thing that they did. But this can be a bit overwhelming for the student, and it can actually hinder what they're participating in and the fun that they're having. I know that I have problems with sometimes connecting with my parents, but my first year, I also was calling them every other day. But my goal here is that continue to support them and continue to be involved in their life. And some ways that I think that are really practical for you to do this are sending occasional home updates. Sometimes my mom would just send me funny videos of my dog. And it was just that small taste of home to still be connected to my family, but not overwhelmed. A second one, maybe set up a specific time with your student throughout the week where you can hop on a Zoom call together and you can just update on the week. And that's an opportunity, a set time where they can provide you all the updates and that they're prepared to be able to do that. And then finally, send care packages. I still come to tears whenever I check the mail and my mom has sent me a Valentine's Day card. I know that as a first-year student in the dorms, it would be one of the most exciting things to hear in the mail or check my mailbox that someone had sent me a package. And so I think those are some really tangible ways for you to remain a part of your student's life without overwhelming them. And then finally, encourage your student to get involved. I cannot stress this enough. I mean, the studies do show that students who are involved show higher rates of retention and graduation rates. Among students that are involved, there's higher GPAs as well. But beyond that, getting involved is an opportunity for your student to find a community. I know that Student Government Association for me, I mean, this is my job this year, but I am literally working with my best friends. And finding that community and finding those people that love and support you and share your interests is just such a important and integral part of the student experience as a college student. And Texas Tech has, like we said, over 500 student organizations. And I'm confident that there's a student organization where your student can get plugged in and develop that community. And on top of that, they can create their own student organizations. And then finally, in addition, getting involved just helps prep them for professional careers and allows them to enter this diverse and global society in a way that they will succeed. Again, I just want to say thank you all so much for joining us today. Again, I love Texas Tech from the bottom of my heart. My mom is Texas Tech alum, so I grew up loving the Red Raiders. Didn't think I could love Texas Tech more, but I can genuinely say that every single day, I love Texas Tech more than I did the day before. And I'm just so excited for your students as they enter this new endeavor, and just want to encourage you to continue to support them in some of the ways that I encouraged, and they're in good hands here at Texas Tech, and I can vouch for that. Thank you all.
Thank you, Hunter. We appreciate you sharing your experiences and what was meaningful to you. We are so excited that you all are using that Q&A feature and asking a lot of really good questions. I know we just have a couple of minutes before we transition to our Texas Tech Parent Association, but just quickly from our panelists, if you had to give one bit of advice to families related to resources or opportunities for students who are making the transition to Texas Tech, or maybe homesick or anxious about being here, what would be one piece of advice that you might give to families? And Dr. Sumner, if we could start with you.
Sure. So let me just say this. Dr. Wan probably gets calls from a lot of us in tears or happy, wanting to celebrate. So she is an amazing woman. If you have a chance to know her, you are all the better. My youngest son is getting his PhD in high energy physics. He also wanted to drop out of school and go to law school at the end of the first year because of all of the things around social justice. So don't think that those questions don't continue to happen. However, we're here to help them navigate. If I were to offer you one bit of advice, get them plugged into potentially an on-campus job, because the resources and support that they get outside are certainly there. But the students that I talk to that work in our office, I'm asking them about their major. I'm talking to them about their connections. I'm helping them to problem solve. And it's not because it's my job. It's because they're a part of my team. They are a part of my family, not just as a Red Raider, but here in the office. And so please encourage your sons or daughter. And let me say this to Doug Sorensen. You are not the only father who is terrified. You are not the only parent that is terrified. As I was going through these comments, I wanted you to know we have all been there, and we understand, but we are here. So trust us with your most treasured person. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Sumner. Dr. Duran, what might be one piece of advice you would share with families?
Well, as a typical university professor, I probably need to split it into two parts. One is to, but I guess they both fall under make a connection. Okay, make connections early. And that really has two pieces to it. One is to really try to do something, join something, go to those Raider Welcome events, just jump in and start meeting people and start trying to find, you know, an interest or a group of people that you want to do things with. That's one part of the connection. The second part of the connection, I think, is not being afraid to ask for help. We have so many resources on our campus and so many willing people that all it takes is a phone call or an email saying, I need this, I don't know who to talk to. And that person, whoever they are, whether it's faculty or staff, are going to find the right person and get you connected to that right resource. So really, I think if you can just encourage your student to, I mean, there is some fear in starting new things, but making those connections by jumping in and not being afraid to ask for help, I think would be super important.
Thank you, Dr. Duran. Dr. Chambers, one bit of advice for our families.
I think, man, follow Hunter's footsteps. I think the reality is, I'm going to echo kind of what's been said already, but get involved. When I remember my college experience, I don't think that my roommate, we'd grown up together, and we didn't get out and meet even our people in our residence hall, excuse me. We didn't get out to really meet people until spring break of that first year. And we, thinking about that now, just telling students, get involved and just put yourself out there. I think a lot of people are going to be excited about getting involved, but then I think as a parent, and I'm a parent too, we're all going to have to encourage our students that, hey, did you go? We're going to follow up with them and double check and make sure that they did go to that student organization meeting or something like that. And I think that's going to be important on all of us as parents. And we do that. We provide those opportunities. We send out information all the time to our students, but I think it's going to be a team effort where you need to feel empowered that we do want you to send that message, that text, that email, that care package, and say, hey, by the way, did you go get involved? I heard this awesome Hunter Heck, and I want you to be successful just like her. And it's okay to do that.
Thank you. Hunter, what about you? What's your piece of advice for families about that transition?
Well, I echo the sentiments of everyone, and I know I already touched briefly on several points of advice, but one I just thought of is encouraging your student to attend office hours of their professors and to engage on a personal note with their professors in the classroom, because I know that can be extremely intimidating to approach a professor, especially if this is your first setting in higher education. But the faculty want to get to know their students, and they are in the classroom to support our students. And so I think having a conversation with your students about the importance of connecting with faculty outside of the classroom via office hours, not being afraid to send that email, just to touch base, introduce yourself at the beginning of the course. I think those are all really meaningful things that if left alone and not encouraged to do so, a student can often avoid doing. That's very important.
Thank you, Hunter. Thank you to our panelists. At this time, we are excited to be able to introduce our Texas Tech Parent Association. Joyce Zachman serves as the CEO for the Texas Tech Parent Association. They do operate as a separate 501c3, but work very collaboratively with the university. So at this time, I'd like to turn it over to Joyce and the Texas Tech Parent Association.
Well, thank you so much, Elizabeth. I really appreciate the opportunity to be here. I know we can't see you, but you can see us. And so it's really great to be able to kind of communicate with other parents, moms, dads, grandparents, guardians, and so forth. I am Joyce Zachman. I am the CEO of the Texas Tech Parents Association. And as Elizabeth mentioned, we are a nonprofit affiliate of the university. And it allows us to be moms and dads with other moms and dads, or grandparents. We have grandparents, aunts and uncles, all connected up together. So one of the things that we know and that we focus in on is we realize that you are getting ready to launch your son or daughter off to college. And it's kind of the symbolic, whenever they finish high school, it's the symbolic end of childhood. It's hard to think of 18-year-olds as being children, but they're our children. They're our sons and they're our daughters. And so ending high school time is the symbolic end of childhood. And that means going off to college is also the symbolic beginning of adulthood. And so you can think of us almost as your navigational partners in doing this. It's a good thing that I had my image, my pet image on there, because a lot of the things that I heard the faculty and staff saying, I was nodding my head, yes, yes, yes. You will hear a lot, if you haven't heard already, a lot about Texas Tech family. And I think as parents, we can attest to that fact. We know that our students are cared for by the faculty and staff, and especially in student affairs, whenever they have so many different programs. It's just really a great university. And it's a place where your son and your daughters can go and get their good education and also grow up and start doing the adulting things that we've seen them growing into this adulthood, and now they're going to be maturing. And we want you to know that we understand at the Parents Association that this college experience, unlike it was maybe when we as parents were in college, this is now a family experience. And navigating through this, it isn't a matter of telling your son or daughter it's time to get up, or do you have gas in your car? What are you going to do for lunch? Things of that nature. But it really is realizing that they're still going to come back to you and ask you for advice, share some concerns that they may have as well as joys. And we want to make sure that you are equipped to be able to experience that with them. So we like to say to the parents who work with us and volunteer with us, you've got questions and we've got answers. And we are here to support parents. We take care of our parents. And we do that best by offering programs that give you information, because many of you may not know very much about Texas Tech. You may not know very much about West Texas or Lubbock. And so that's one of the things that we're here to do. I want to introduce Denise. Excuse me, Denise is from Houston. She's going to be sharing with you a little bit about what it's like to have a student at Texas Tech, and she's from the Houston area, so she can talk about this parenting at a distance, or this, navigating with your student at a distance. We also have a couple of other parents, our ambassadors, on today who will be answering your questions. If you've got parent questions, they're here to help you as well, to answer questions. Lisa from San Antonio and Reggie from the DFW area will be answering your questions in the Q&A session. So Denise, if we can get you to come on, I'm going to mute, and you can talk about what it's like to have a student at Texas Tech University.
Hi, everyone. So I am from the Houston area. I live in Kingwood, Texas, and I have a freshman right now at Texas Tech, and she's loving her experience. As a parent, it's been a challenging year just having her away from home so far. But we're both enjoying my husband and I are both enjoying seeing her blossom and loving the Texas Tech experience. I am a parent ambassador with the Texas Tech Parent Association. And one of the things I do is I administer the Texas Tech Parents Class of 2025 Facebook group. So I would encourage you to join that group. We offer a lot of advice and answers to questions that a lot of parents ask us. We, as an association, we offer webinars to the parents from different departments within the university, as well as other opportunities for webinars to help.
Oh my goodness, we didn't expect that to happen.
I'm so sorry. Having internet connectivity issues at the moment. Anyway, so we are trying very hard to stay connected with the families, and so they can help their students to enjoy their experience without being too involved, as that was spoken before, in their lives, that it's distracting. But we're here to help the parents. And I know that we've seen a lot of questions on our Facebook groups that ask about just housing issues and who can we go for this, and we answer those questions, referring them to the university staff, people that they should be talking to. The links through the website, I know the website is overwhelming for parents to navigate, so a lot of times it's just easy to ask those questions on our Facebook page, and we provide the links to those, as well as some of the information they require, if it's appropriate for us to respond to. There are university members on our Facebook page that will answer questions such as housing and hospitality for the dining situations. So they also monitor the page. So I highly recommend the parents join that page. It is a parents only group, so students are not on that page. They have their own social media sites that they access, but we are here to help the parents. So we welcome you, and we're excited to meet you and your students, and hopefully that we'll be able to help you with whatever you need. So we appreciate that. The other thing I wanted to mention is if you have a question, please reach out to us. As a parent, you know, we've all been here with us in the same similar situation, and I'm sure that you may be experiencing. And we have such a broad range of networking throughout the university that we would know who to have you contact if it's something that the university should be assisting you with. So thank you very much, and look forward to meeting you on our Facebook page.
Thanks very much, Denise. Sorry about the connectivity issues there. That's going to happen. If the next slide could be put up, I think that has the information on how to reach Texas Tech. So Jessica, if you could, there you go. Thank you so much. And this is also the Facebook page that Denise referred to. There's a lot of information that gets shared in there. So we really encourage, if you have a Facebook account, that you would join us there. We're also on Instagram as well, but this is the Facebook page is where a lot of information does get shared. If you've got a QR code scanner or just a camera on your phone that you could snap that, it'll get the information directly to us so we can send out some information. I think the thing that we really want to convey to you is that we are here for you. We're walking in your footsteps. We've been there. And a lot of parents get to know each other through the Parents Association, developing literally some lifelong friendships. We provide a safe travel network for your students when they're traveling away from campus. There's over 3,000 families all over the country and in other countries too, who are willing to assist students whenever they're away from home and away from campus should they need it. I think sometimes just, you know, where do you go to get your son or daughter? Where do they take their car to get it fixed? What are the best restaurants? You know, we provide a lot of discounts for families because we know how expensive it is. We're there too, to send our sons and daughters off to college. So we're here to help you not only navigate, trying to cut expenses wherever we possibly can, assist you with that. We have scholarships and so forth. So I think that's probably where we're going to end up right now. And I think if I could go ahead and kind of think in terms of what Elizabeth's question might be, what is the best advice that we have? Hunter mentioned a few moments ago that engagement in college generates a higher GPA and greater success for students. So when students are involved in extracurricular activities, that's going to get a higher GPA. But we also know that there are studies out there that show that when parents are appropriately engaged, that also generates greater success in their students. So that's what the avenue that we provide is, to be able to offer opportunities for you to be engaged with and involved with, sometimes directly with the university, sometimes directly with the association, right there in your own communities as well as here on campus. If you've got any questions, we'd be happy to answer them. There's our information. And thank you so much for joining us today. And Elizabeth, I turn it back over to you.
Thank you, Joyce. Again, thank you for joining us this afternoon. I hope that this session was helpful for you. The session has been recorded and will be available later, so you can re-review it as needed. And you're always welcome to give us a call or email us. We're here to help you as you make this transition to joining our Red Raider family. I know we still have questions coming in via that Q&A, and we'll continue to answer those until those are complete. But again, thank you for joining us, and welcome to the Red Raider family.